which you also.
When meeting him and the governor's team, did you find out where everyone from the governor's team worked, their credentials, titles?
No.
Okay. Did Weldon Korir assist you to prepare this report?
No.
Who assisted you to prepare the report?
My colleague.
Maybe for the sake of the record, what's the name of the colleague?
Bruce Onyango.
Bruce Onyango.
Yes.
Okay. There is a fundamental question you asked about the logs, which are there in volume 4A. Volume 4A, the logs. You are asked whether you have mentioned these logs, which appear at page 30. What page is that?
Page 20. Page 29.
Of volume?
Of volume.
So you ask a specific question, whether you have you have mentioned these logs in your report. Look at paragraph 7 of your affidavit. Can you read paragraph 7 of your affidavit to the Senate, please?
I was requested to analyze the extracts of the system audit logs, which are contained in volume 4A of the county assembly documents.
Are those the logs that you said you analyzed, the logs in volume 4A?
Yes.
Okay. Look at page 35 of your report. Can you read paragraph 261, the first bullet?
Data privacy and protection frameworks require strict separation of voter identity from ballot choice. From the logs provided, we can know who voted.
Okay. Have you mentioned the word logs? Are these the logs that you say you referred to?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in preparing your entire report, again, you've been asked this question, in preparing your entire report, what was the primary document that you used to make all these conclusions that are contained in your report? What was the primary document?
The primary document was the system architecture.
The system architecture?
Yes.
Okay. By the way, for the avoidance of doubt, when you logged in using those credentials that you said, did you see the logs in the system as an expert?
No.
Why?
Because the user did not have those rights, you see.
Okay, the user right cannot access the logs.
Yes.
So you relied on the logs which were already supplied to you?
Yes.
Okay. There is this issue of the MAC addresses. Again, you asked a question whether you have mentioned in your report the MAC addresses. To your own knowledge, do you know what MAC addresses are? If you ask me as a lawyer, what is a constitution, I'll simply pick it out and show it to you. And then there'll be no doubt about it. So to your own knowledge as an IT expert, do you know what MAC addresses are?
Yes.
So from the documentations that you analyzed, the logs that are in front of you, do you see any item that looks like a MAC address of a computer or a phone or a laptop?
No.
Was that the basis of your conclusion about MAC references to MAC addresses?
Yes.
Who contracted you? You asked a question, that someone contracted you.
Yes, as I mentioned, it was the governance team led by
How many lawyers were in the governance team that you were working with? Did I just count how many lawyers?
believe the ones I know around 7, 8.
Around 7.
Yeah, 8, yeah.
Okay, okay. Have they paid your fees? Madam Speaker, that is the last question to the witness.
Are you sure you want to discuss the fees in the course of those questions? I think we can now proceed on with the senators who want to interrogate this witness, and want to start with Senator Samson Chiradike. Please ask a direct question. Don't take more than 1 minute so that we can finalize with this witness.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. I've seen in your affidavit, did you check the system itself, or you did only analysis of the logs? And number 2, Madam Speaker, in your assessment, were you able to visit Kericho County Assembly? And finally, I've seen in your report, you have not indicated whether the system was compromised or not. Can you clarify on your recommendations and conclusion? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Professor Tom Mujenda, we'll take a few questions and then you respond to them together.
Mr. Witness, you have referred to the system created, and I want you to clarify a thing. Number 1, was the system tamper-proof? Number 2, could a third party, is it possible to know whether a third party voted for a member from the analysis of the system?
Senator Danson Mungatana.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. May the witness tell us, from what I have listened to, Madam Speaker, the witness only pointed out to the absence of multi-factor authentication, lack of Cloudflare, exposure of passwords, use of the KE instead of a GOKE, the general risks. But he has not told us whether there was a specific breach, a specific, if I tell you to do a risk assessment of my office or my house, you should be able to tell me that on this particular day, this person, or it was seen from the system that this person did this. So I want the witness to tell us, did he observe whether actually somebody voted for another person? That's what we are looking for, because the report is so general. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Wakoli, and then you respond to those questions, and we'll move to the next segment. Senator Wakoli has dropped to Senator Okenyuri Esi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would wish to know from the IT expert on whether he has capacity so that we can have georeferencing, so that we see if each individual who was voting virtually matches with the places where they were in, so that we do not have a case of a voter who voted virtually but in Bomet. Secondly, how do you prove that the 4 votes that were emanating from the same IP address are not from different devices or same devices? And finally, are you able to check on the authenticity of the static IP address? Thank you.
Can you proceed, witness, to respond to those queries?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'll respond to the questions raised. I start with the last. This is the check of authenticity of the public IP address. What usually happens, the authenticity of a public IP address is is owned by the ISP provider. So the authenticity of the public IP address is correct. You can get the authenticity of the public IP address from the logs, because you cannot have your own public IP address. It has to be registered via the internet provider. Then the other question you had raised is if the same IP address which voted for the same IP address which was used for 4 votes, that is able because if you are in the same network, we say you connect to the Parliament wireless, all of you will have the same IP address. So that is correct. 4 votes can have the same IP address. The risks that were raised, that somebody can vote for another, definitely this one was captured in the report, because as I shared, the passwords, the username and passwords were shared in IT terms, we call it clear text. They weren't encrypted when they were shared to the users, and everyone knew that to access this system, either you need your IDPP number and the username and the ID number to access it. So everyone had the protocol that is needed to access. So anyone could access somebody else's account. Because I know, if for me I know my ID number is this, definitely my fellow MCA ID number, definitely I'm privy to this. I can get his information from maybe a database which is provided somewhere. So we saw that as a major risk, which we highlighted it on the report. For that, we because of the lack of the MAC address, which we have been talking about, we cannot know which individual device or who accessed it. I think that would answer also the question on the whether a third party voted for the system, which is very much possible because this system is not hosted at the Kericho County ICT departments, it's hosted outside as per the report. It's hosted in Germany. So anyone with a link and anyone with the credentials of an MCA would be able to access it. That one also answers the question on if the system was if the system was standard-proof in terms of it was compromised because of the sharing of the same usernames and passwords, or a certain criteria is being used, which everyone knows. For Senator Cherga, I did not visit the county assembly because in this digital world, everything is online, the networks have been connected, and the system, we did not see the need of going there because the system is not hosted in their premises. Yes, I believe.
Senator Olekina Ledama.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I have a few questions for this IT expert. First of all, let me congratulate you for really selling yourself in 30 pages of giving your credential in the key audit in your report. I was trying to find exactly what it is that you're auditing, but I couldn't find. But I'll go specifically to my questions. And my questions are as follows. 1, are you a certified white hacker or ethical hacker? A white hacker is the same as ethical hacker. That's question number 1. Number 2, the counsel for the governor asked you a question, which was also asked by the county assembly attorney, whether or what is a MAC address. So I wish you could be able to explain to us what is a MAC address clearly. And then the next question that I want to hear from you giving us a clear answer is, since the title of your report, and I'll go to page 30, is it 30 or maybe 29? It says Cyber Security Audit, Kericho County Assembly Voting System, cyber security. So what I would like to know from you is which cryptographic keys did you use to be able to audit the system? Because I've gone through what you've presented here, and these are basic things that anyone can get who understands internet, who is, in terms of who owns the domain. But really, I think if you are to audit, you're either a certified ethical hacker or who can be able to use cryptographic keys to be able to give us. But I have not seen any of those. These are quite basic things. And then finally is, oh, my question, my time is over.
Senator Okech Eddy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Expert, on page 32 of your affidavit, you have indicated here your primary objectives of this audit exercise. And I'm drawn to the biggest one here, which is to ensure the integrity and confidentiality of voter data. And because this Senate might not have as many experts as you are, what I was expecting from you is a proper audit trail. A proper audit trail of what is the event log of what actually happened. I'm looking at your entire affidavit here. I don't have any single element of event logs of really what happened. I want you to tell me in simple terms, because whatever you have here is a prescription of any system that you can do on a secondary level. You can do this work on a secondary level. I can look at a system and say this system has got, lacks these features, or this system does not have these security features. You can say that. But what we're looking for here is an element of accountability and transparency that can be able to show us that in the event log of what transpired in the voting time of 11 minutes, this is my audit trail. So my question to you is, where can we find your audit trail of this system that can show us event log of exactly what transpired? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Otsotsi, to close the number of questions, then we go for 3 on this side.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I just want to clarify a matter. When the expert was confronted with a question to distinguish between a MAC address and IP address, I think there was some confusion there. Because a MAC address is supposed to be that unique identifier that identifies. Let me process my question. Let me process my question. That identifies a device on a network, on a unique network.
Can you avoid answering for the witness? You just pose the question or seek the clarification so that you give them the benefit of answering that question.
Oh, very well, very well. But let me go now to the point. An IP address, in my own understanding, my 25 years of practice, is that unique identification that identifies a device on the internet. For example, Madam Speaker, when you have your phone and you want to transact on the internet, that unique number that identifies you on the internet is the IP address. I want to pose a question based on the contents of County Assembly documents, volume 4A, on page 30. There's a particular IP address 41.237.2.129. It has been used, Madam Speaker, 9 times. And I want to believe maybe it's because we had that one particular computer that the MCAs were using to vote. That could be the explanation. But I...
Don't speculate. Can you pose the question to the witness?
Okay. Madam Speaker, you know, in this house we have a diversity of professions. And in this particular one, I have a responsibility to guide this house, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would like to know whether the ICT expert did an IP lookup. We have something called an IP lookup, where you can determine the physical location of a device on the internet. It will tell you the geographical location to the coordinates. Did he do that?
Very well. I think your question is posed. I will give the witness time to respond to those questions. Proceed, witness.
Oh,
Proceed. We
thank
are
you.
coming to 3 questions on the majority side.
Okay, I'll start with the last in. So you talked about the MAC address. Yes, the MAC address is a unique number which each device, whether a phone or laptop has. And you had mentioned something called the IP address. This one, subject matter 41.139.237.129. We did a search on it, and we found it's registered under Safaricom Limited. Yes, and as you said, this IP address can be used by multiple devices. As I mentioned earlier, if all of us connect to the same Wi-Fi here at Parliament, all of us will have the same IP address going out. So all the devices within the House will have, within the Senate will have the same IP addresses. I think that one can answer that. Then
Speak into the microphone so that your voice does not fade away.
Okay, sorry. Then the issue on the logs, which are not captured, the audit trail and the transparency. Our mandate for this exercise was to test the high level security of the system. As I mentioned, we did not enter the administrator account, and we did not have access to it. So those audit trails and the audit trails which were to be provided, we did not have access to it. For the method or the methodology that we used to audit the system, we relied on the basics. As you have mentioned, the report is basic. You know, if something is basic and you understand, it means the person did a very good work. Because if you used technical terminologies, most of you would have said this thing is very hard to understand. And that's why we made it. The best teachers are the ones who simplify things. And that is the reason why you find it very basic. About being a certified white hacker, no, I don't possess that certification, but I possess the experience.
Are you done with the responses?
Yes.
He has answered. He did not respond to your question, Senator Osotsi.
My question was whether the expert did an IP lookup on those IP addresses.
Answer that question.
Because the IP lookup will give you the physical location of the device.
Witness, that's a crucial question. Can you answer that question?
Yes, I had answered it. I believe maybe you are communicating with your fellow senators. The IP mentioned, the 41.139.237.129, is registered under Safaricom Limited.
Where was the physical location? That's what the senator asked you. Where was the physical location of that device?
Maybe I can just give the physical location just now, because this is publicly available information. Yes, but it's registered under Safaricom Limited.
We will proceed on to the next set of questions. Senator Kisang and Senator Joyce, in that order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker.